Coming up on NonStop Local at 4, the lawsuit against Boeing for two 737 MAX crashes has been dismissed. Details on the deal the company reached with the Department of Justice. And Richland police assisting in the arrest of a man with a Department of Corrections warrant. How a 911 call from an off-duty security officer led them to the suspect. And the FAA announcing flight cancellations in response to air traffic control staffing issues during the government shutdown. And it could be impacting your holiday travel.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4.
And as we enter that holiday travel season, airports are facing more than an uptick in flying this year due to the government shutdown, causing staffing issues and delays. The Federal Aviation Administration announced this morning they are prepared to cut air traffic by 10% at 40 major airports starting tomorrow due to air traffic controller shortages caused by the shutdown. According to the FAA, more than 400 air traffic controller shortages have been reported since the shutdown began. Union leaders say people are not just calling in sick due to respiratory illness season, but also because without pay, they have no options for child care. The FAA and the union both emphasizing the shutdown shortages need to be addressed now for safety reasons.
And we're not going to wait for a safety problem to truly manifest itself when the early indicators are telling us we can take action today to prevent, things from deteriorating.
Now airlines are scrambling to adjust some flights. Frontier Airlines saying people flying within the next 10 days should book backup tickets just in case. If the shutdown continues into later this month, holiday travelers could face major delays and cancellations if they are flying. Look at this misery map right now as cancellations are starting to roll out. The red indicating delays and cancellations, and the green for on-time flights. Right now showing total cancellations for today so far at 524, and for tomorrow there have already been 767 total cancellations for the United States. And now we turn to our area, looking at potential delays and cancellations here, and that's where we find NonStop Local's Jira Cottingham, who is at the Spokane International Airport, monitoring the situation out there for us. Good afternoon, Jira.
Good afternoon, Corey. Thank you so much. And if you are traveling today, it is the right time before those delays take effect. We received word from the Spokane International Airport that although we are not directly affected, we are an interconnected operating system. And so that 10% reduction could affect your flight, especially coming from Seattle. And again, GG not among the 40 airports. And we did see a comment of cancellation, although the Spokane International Airport said they're not aware of any cancellations. We did have a viewer let us know of that, and they are encouraging you to stay proactive in checking your airlines. And I spoke with a traveler today coming from Florida, and she's visiting her son at the University of Idaho for Parents Weekend, and says she is slightly concerned that her travel on Monday could be delayed.
We are a little concerned about going home on Monday because we don't know what the flights are going to be like going home. We have a layover in Minneapolis, so we're just praying that it's going to work out.
And she also shares with me that when they landed from Minneapolis here in Spokane, their airplane had to be towed back to the boarding area as it lost electricity. And we're not sure if that's exactly connected to the government shutdown. However, it did worry her even more. And she says if that flight is delayed on Monday, it's an 11 p.m. flight, her and her husband could lose out on going to work. And also, Seattle is accepting donations for their federal workers and are accepting those in the lobby. I'm sure Spokane could use those too for those workers working unpaid during this longest shutdown in history. Reporting in Spokane, Jira Cottingham, NonStop Local.
All right, thank you very much, Jira. Monitoring that for us out at the airport, and Leslie Lowe monitoring the weather for us in the Weather Center. Leslie, I got to get out of the station today and go work on a story, and it was pleasant out there.
It was kind of quiet,
It was
right?
nice, yeah.
It's kind of quiet, a little bit breezy from time to time, breaking the rain, but you didn't get too comfortable, I hope, or put your umbrella away. because you're going to need it.
Of course not. I never do that.
Okay, don't do that. Let's get a look at that weather forecast because we do have that next round of rain. It is already on the move. Live look over Spokane. We are seeing those cloudy skies out there. Temperatures currently sitting upper 40s and low 50s across the board with wind speeds 5 to 10 miles per hour here in Spokane. Some of the strongest wind gusts have been south into eastern parts of Oregon and over towards central Idaho. Satellite and radar, you can actually see that band making its approach in Spokane. So out towards the West Plains, we're seeing some sprinkles all the way up towards Fairchild Air Force Base into Rambo Road, starting to see some of those light showers out back through Cheney, and then the west side all the way down into northern California has been packing a punch with some widespread and some heavy rain showers expected there tonight and into early tomorrow morning. As we get you into the overnight hours, showers will increase. You can see that here on our futurecast. Those areas shaded in yellow always indicate heavier bands of showers. Also, snow levels dropping for our mountain passes. In particular, we've been talking about Washington Pass. They are under a winter storm warning. Also, places like Snoqualmie Pass and Stevens Pass going to see some slushy snow, which will make for tricky driving conditions as we head through not only tonight but into tomorrow morning as well. Again, a closer look at those wind speeds, anywhere from 5 to 10 between Spokane and Coeur d'Alene down into eastern Oregon. That again is where we're seeing some of those stronger wind gusts. We're also seeing sustained winds a little bit stronger at about 14 miles per hour in La Grande. Overnight lows tonight, mid to upper 30s, low 40s, and then we've got some mid 40s down through the Tri-Cities into Lewiston. Once this band of showers, Corey, is past us for tonight, we do catch a bit of a break as we get into the weekend, which has been a while. So we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Leslie. A crime tracker now out of Richland. Police there saying they assisted the U.S. Marshals Task Force with an arrest of a suspect with an active Department of Corrections warrant. According to police, they were informed of the plan to arrest Raymond Smith, who had a history of violent offenses. Before the arrest, officers responded to a burglary at an apartment complex. An off-duty security officer telling them someone stole personal belongings and a rifle from his apartment while he was out, and he had just seen Smith driving a stolen vehicle. So officers conducted a high-risk traffic stop as Smith tried to drive away. He was taken into custody without incident. Officers say they recovered all the stolen property, including that rifle, as well as 2 handguns. One of them was reported stolen out of Oregon. Smith was booked on the warrant and is expected to face additional charges for the incident. The death toll continuing to climb in the UPS cargo plane crash that happened in Kentucky earlier this week. It's now at 12 deaths, but officials say as they continue to investigate, it could be even higher. Lee Waldman has the latest, and we do want to warn you some of the video in this segment could find disturbing.
The debris field is a half-mile long, a line of scorched earth now running through local businesses that stood near Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport.
The impact and intensity of the wreckage, of the charred wreckage, is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Graphic video shows the moment the MD-11 transport aircraft operated by UPS erupted into flames shortly after takeoff around the airport, leaving multiple people dead, likely including the 3 crew members who were on the flight, according to the mayor. Videos from the scene show flames in an auto recycling yard and semi-truck lot in an industrial area nearby.
And right when she was FaceTiming me, a massive explosion occurred, and she said to me, the scrap office blew up. And it was like hell's fury. I mean, it was indescribable, people screaming, people running, people trying to help each other.
Investigators for the National Transportation Safety Board said the plane's black boxes have been recovered and will be taken back to Washington, D.C.
We feel comfortable once we get these to our lab in D.C. that we will be able to get a good readout of the applicable data, and that will be yet another point of information that will really help us understand what happened during this point of flight.
In Louisville, I'm Lee Waldman.
Meanwhile, a federal judge announcing today the criminal case against Boeing over 2 737 MAX crashes has been dismissed at the request of the Department of Justice. The federal government requesting the dismissal in a deal that requires the aircraft maker to pay or invest an additional $1.1 billion in fines, compensation for the crash victims' families, and internal safety and quality measures. 346 people were killed in the 2 crashes, the first happening in October of 2018 and the second nearly 5 months later. The DOJ had initially charged Boeing in 2021 with conspiracy to defraud the United States, for their alleged obstruction of the FAA's evaluation of the 737 MAX's maneuvering augmentation system. New information now. Washington State in the midst of a major construction project on the west side to expand access for those in need of behavioral health treatment. The new facility will add 350 new beds with a target opening date of August 2028. Governor Bob Ferguson spent the last week visiting Western State Hospital to better understand the challenges faced as the state sees increased demand. Many of the improvements being implemented come following a 2014 lawsuit challenging unconstitutional delays in competency evaluation and restoration services for people detained in jails.
Wait times literally were many months. I think we talked earlier today where the current wait time is just a matter of days.
Governor also addressed the ongoing budget challenges, acknowledging the need for more resources to maintain compliance and meet future demands. Still to come here on Nonstop Local at 4 this afternoon. What day is it, Leslie?
We'll go with Friday just because no, that's tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to press on here. We're talking passwords, everyone, which have become ever so complicated, except for one of the most famous museums in the world, apparently, and we bet you can't guess their password. Maybe you can. It's good. Leslie, what do you think? What do you think their password is right now?
A bunch of letters and numbers and crazy things.
You're not far off, we'll tell you that.
All right. I'm going to guess. Right now, I'm going to tell you that we're taking a live look over Spokane. Next system, it is on the move. We're talking about rain, we're talking about wind, and we're talking about mountain snow. So stick around. We'll see you back here with all those details. I think we should just go with today's Friday and take tomorrow off.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.